What is up, everyone? This is SpireFan here. We just got back from an awesome February 2024 in-person Pokemon TCG Highlander monthly. It is a 3 out of 5 set today. Steven Elmore versus Brennen LaMastres. Let's get right to it. Round 1, we got Steven on the left and Brennen on the right. Now, Steven is playing his Lost Zone deck that he's been pushing for quite a while now, and Brennen is playing something brand new. Definitely pushing the agenda here in terms of a playstyle that actually hasn't won a monthly yet. We've seen a lot of great attempts, but Brennen is wanting to keep at it, and that's a mill deck playstyle. And so we'll see what happens in a 3 out of 5 set. It'll be interesting to see how each player adapts. ASAP, we see an opening of Steven with Arceus versus Brennen on Dunsparce. Dunsparce uses Call for Family, grabs Bergmite and Sandshrew. That is a new Sandshrew with an ability that basically doesn't let cards leave the discard pile, which can be very good for mill decks. And so now we are looking at Arceus going for the Sky Spear ASAP to take out Nincada. Steven's girlfriend Audrey has played Ninjask before. She's done very well with Ninjask strategies. So definitely he kind of recognizes, okay, I need to get rid of that ASAP. I don't know if Steven knows that he's playing Shedinja also. I know they were talking a bit leading into the tournament, so he might. We see the energy retrieval. Now with Avalugg, as you see there with the leafy camo poncho, Avalugg, every time a fighting energy gets discarded, Steven's going to have to discard the top card of his deck. And you're just seeing, energy retrieval, Pal Pad, and Brennen is trying to push a strategy with Grant. Grant says that basically as often as you like, you can recycle him to the hand if you discard 2 cards from your hand. So he's really looking to discard 2 fighting energy to activate Avalugg twice, rinse and repeat, and he's running multiple energy retrieval cards, including energy retrieval and superior energy retrieval. We see Dunsparce there with the float stone, multi-energy, puts another fighting in the discards, mills the water energy. We definitely see Steven trying to blitz with Cranidos to hit for weakness, but he's already scooping game 1. Going into game 2, I think Steven, he's going to have to recognize to, kind of like with his Cranidos strat, blitz Brennen as fast as he can. Avalugg's pretty hard to knock out with 120 HP, but also you notice that he put a leafy camo poncho on Avalugg, which is a good call by Brennen. That means you can't just Guzma Avalugg up. You'd have to play a tool removal card. I know that he plays Lost Vacuum, which is really good, so he'd have to time that correctly. We see Jirachi lead with a Cessation Crystal. Very good, locks out powers and bodies on both sides as long as that Pokemon is active. And already looking like Cessation Crystal gets removed because Sandslash has an attack that does 10 spread, and you discard all Pokemon tool cards attached to your opponent's Pokemon. Also, the spread attack does apply weakness and resistance, and Steven did bring up at this tournament that a lot of his Highlander Pokemon are weak to fighting. So this has already seemed like a pretty hard matchup because Mill inherently will get rid of pretty big crucial parts in Steven's deck, like Mirage Gate or Double Colorless Energy, that could definitely hurt his combos. You see Steven kind of tapping his finger on the playmat, kind of awaiting what's going to get milled next, Shedinja level X uses the attack, looks at the top 6 cards of Steven's deck, attaches them to different Pokemon. Notice Type Null there has 3. I knew one of those cards was an attached Silvally, which means Steven would have to do a deck search and quickly recognize that Silvally is gone. He won't get that back until Type Null attacks, but he actually concedes that round, and we're down to round 3. So real quick, I mentioned that we've seen mill decks in the past, very good mill decks, from players like TRK and Kuda, and they've done well. It's just we've never seen Mill win yet. We've seen Ryan Green play Mill in an exhibition, but that's not a monthly. It still was a great exhibition versus Kuda. He was playing Durant. And so, honestly, I think a big thing with Mill is you gotta make sure you keep on the aggression, but also you have to prepare yourself for sweepers. And I think in Steven's case, he definitely is talking about after this tournament, he was kind of addressing this type of matchup because we were talking about Mill in general. And as you're seeing in this game 3, he's trying to load up Silvally here because you got to promote some type of sweeper usually to put the pressure on the Mill deck player. Because you can see in Brennen's case, he's got Armaldo. This is actually something I talked to Brennen about leading into this tournament, is covering what Mill tends to, might have as a weakness in the past, and that's having a counter sweeper. And so Armaldo can serve that role here, because Armaldo can be hard to knock out, 120 HP stage 1 with a Poke Body that is very good defensively, both for your bench and Armaldo. Vortex Chop just downright knocks out Pokemon that resist fighting in grass. Rock Blast does good spread damage. Armaldo level X can pull up the bench and do 50 spread amongst multiple targets potentially. And we're seeing right here, Armaldo is loaded up with 3 fighting energy and a Float Stone, just in case Steven promotes a threat. And Steven's trying to load up his bench again with that Savali there, and Golisopod with a strong first impression. But the thing with Shedinja is it hardwalls Pokemon that don't hit for weakness on Shedinja. And then this is before the level X. The level X, has that very good attach cards from your opponent's deck attack for no energy. And then the Poke Body adds 1 damage counter every time your opponent has a Pokemon placed in their discard pile. And again, we see the Grant loops. Oh, we see double Defender on Armaldo, now making it even harder to knock out. But I remember this. Steven does a really big play here. He checks out the 2 defenders, double checks Armaldo's Poke Body. He has the Temple of Sinnoh out. Stacks only plays 1 special energy, which is multi, but that's perfectly okay. Temple of Sinnoh can also counter Stadium. Does the Roseanne's backup. Looking at his resources here, Metal Energy, Arceus level X, hits Armaldo for weakness for exactly 120 after the defensive buffs. Good on Steven. Here comes Sax with Shedinja once again, and he's really been pushing these Grant plays with Avalugg being able to just mill multiple cards, and you see that superior energy retrieval just really racking up the mill count here on this game. There's Grant again, being able to discard more cards milled on Steven's side. Shedinja level X. Okay, preparing, and Steven calls it there, and that is the set. Congratulations to Brennen LaMastres for winning. He is the first player to win a Highlander Monthly with a mill deck playstyle. But like I said in the past, shout outs to the people that have played mill at monthlies. I actually think they not only obviously deserve credit, but they kind of, the evolution of Highlander is they were really pushing that playstyle agenda. And Ryan Green, he's talked about mill before. He talked about mill on the Hoenn Wave video that me and him did, covering every fully evolved Hoenn Pokemon. And I know Vance Kelly's talked about mill. And Kuda and TRK have brought mill decks to monthlies. And I think they've done well overall. And so I think Sax really took what he kind of observed and he kind of dialed up his own version, and what he did is, you saw that Armaldo play the last game, and I think that's important. I think overall, I think mill decks, you just gotta have some form of counter sweeping protection. Ironically, playing a very traditional, I might take some prizes here. But congrats to Brennen for taking that, and he has declared a bounty on himself. You can see that right here. He posted this on Discord yesterday. Definitely got me laughing out loud. Got me laughing now. And that will be for the March in-person monthly, so should be a lot of fun to see. Definitely have some people already lining up to be there. And it'll be a lot of fun. As always, have a good one. See you around.